Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I was kind of thinking about, what is the best way for a woman to get power in the patriarchy? Because as we all know, no matter where we go in the world, there are some places that are better than others, for sure. But in most places in the world, men are given more power than women. It's just become a fact of life. And even in really places that are really good about it, like Canada and New Zealand, where they're trying very hard, maybe some parts of Europe, where they're trying really hard to make sure that women and men are as equal as possible. Even so, women are earning like 70 cents on the dollar that the man's earning, or less than that, or more than that, around that, right? So they're not earning a dollar if a man's earning a dollar. A lot of times when you ask your colleague, your male colleague, how much they earn, and you compare it to what you earn as a woman, you'll find there's a lot of discrepancy usually, unless there's set rules about how much everyone's going to get paid. Like for example, in the government, they have set laws about how much everyone gets paid. But then what happens is that women are not promoted. They have a glass ceiling. They can't become a manager or a supervisor or a boss or a CEO or whatever it might be. Of course, it's changing as time goes on, and there's lots of women who are doing amazing things in the world. They're leaders, they're business leaders, they're CEOs, and I'm not saying that things are not changing. But there is definitely a situation where you can notice around yourself, especially for women who are in downtrodden positions, who don't have financial power, who do not have a job and they rely upon their husbands, or who live in a patriarchal society, like extremely patriarchal societies like Japan, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all those countries that you can think of, where a lot of parts of Africa, where the women are treated basically like slaves. The only reason they exist is to pump out babies and to take care of the babies in the house. And they're not given any power beyond that. They don't even know what to have power means, right? There are some women in these societies that are doing really well, but a lot of them are in downtrodden positions. And so I was kind of thinking about it a little bit for myself, how did I get out of that position? How did I get out of that situation? Because I am from a country, beautiful India, where patriarchy is dominant. Men pretend like they're the kings, and they are the kings. Even when I'm walking on the street, a man will refuse to get out of my way, even though I was on the street first. Like, he is just like walking, pretending as if I don't exist. I'm invisible. And not even just that, I'll be running on a track, on a jogging track, and a man will just stand there in the middle of the track, right in front of me, doing nothing, or on his phone, pretending like, again, I don't exist, that I'm not doing my morning run. And this happens all the time. And of course, it frustrates me, makes me angry. But then a lot of times I also realize that there are situations where I have power that the man cannot take away from me. Even though they might try to do these silly things like blocking my way or standing in my way, or not letting me pass through when there's very little space to pass through. Things like that, they're doing stupid things like that. But that is just minuscule efforts that they're trying to show their power. Because in general, because of my financial power, because of my financial freedom, because of my financial independence, because of my financial knowledge, I know that the patriarchy cannot fuck with me. I know that I'm able to fuck with the patriarchy. Sorry to use a bad language, but it really needs to be said that way, because it literally is what's happening in the world right now. Literally all over the place, every single day, thousands, millions of times a day, the patriarchy is putting women down, controlling them, making them feel frustrated because they're not listening to them, making them feel angry because they're using them, squeezing every drop of energy out of them, and then not giving them anything back in return, and then blaming them for whatever's going on in the world, right? Women get blamed for everything. So there are negative things happening all the time against women by the patriarchy. And I'm not saying this video, I'm not creating this video to be like, I hate men and men, blah, blah. No, I'm talking about the patriarchy. The patriarchy is something completely different from men. Men is a gender. Males are gender. They are a part of the patriarchy as well. The patriarchy is a societal model. It's an ideology. It is the background that controls all of us, even men, because men have to live within the patriarchy as well. A lot of homosexuality is looked upon as negative or downtrodden upon, or even, illegal in certain countries because of the patriarchy, because it threatens the patriarchy. Whatever threatens the patriarchy is pushed away. That's why financially independent, strong women are pushed away. They're said they're bitchy, or they're angry, or they're put down in many different ways. They're called names, or they're said they're frigid, or they're not good in bed because they're good in the office, or whatever it might be. There are all these stupid, ridiculous things, these notions going around about strong, independent women, because it threatens the patriarchy. It's the biggest thing that threatens the patriarchy. If you want to fuck with the patriarchy, if you want to put down the patriarchy, if you want to fight back against the patriarchy, yes, do all the other things you're doing. Write articles about it, write books about it, talk about it on TV, talk about it on your channel like I'm doing. Do all the other things. But one of the most important things you can do to threaten the patriarchy is become financially independent, become financially powerful. Become so financially powerful that no one can control you anymore. And if no one can control you anymore, the financial, patriarchy cannot control you anymore either. And of course, no one else can control you either, which is perfect. So it's really, really important for us to realize that it's not just about making money. It's not just about buying things. It's not just about having a nice house. It's not just about, showing off in the world that, oh man, look at me, I'm financially independent. No, that is part of it, yes. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that if more and more women get financially independent, they will become more powerful. They'll have a voice in the patriarchy. The patriarchy cannot ignore them anymore. And then the whole world is going to change for the better, right? Because it's the downtrodden, it's the minorities, it's the small people, it's the ones, anyone who's not a male Caucasian, I would say, are all the ones who are picked upon. They're the ones who are pushed down, right? And so in general, if we want to fight back against the patriarchy, and we really should be thinking about fighting back against the patriarchy, as women especially, because I cannot believe what is going on in the world right now with rules about abortion being relegated or being reneged, things that in the US, after dozens of decades, they're like, oh yeah, no, abortion is illegal again. Excuse me, how did that happen? It only happened because the patriarchy has become way too powerful in the US, and all the people who should be speaking up about it, especially women, are not, because they're brainwashed by the patriarchy to believe, oh yeah, definitely, abortion should be legal. Now again, this is not a political statement, and so I don't want you messaging me saying, hey, but pro-life, I don't care about that. I already know what my views are on the matter. What I'm saying is that if you want to push back against the patriarchy, if you feel like you are powerless because your husband is not taking care of you properly, or if you don't have a partner, if in general your boss is against you or is not giving you the right attention or the right promotions or whatever that you need in your job, or there's an ambulance outside, so I'm laughing because it's quite loud. I hope you can't hear it. If there's anything in your for example, maybe your parents, your family, they're the ones who are pushing you down. They're not letting you live your life because they're like, hey, you're a woman, you can't do that. Why? So whoever it might be, who's in your life, who's treating you poorly because you are a woman, it is primarily because you don't have the financial power to fight back. The reason my parents can't say anything to me is because I'm financially independent. There's nothing they can hold over me to say, hey, you should do what I say. Why? There's nothing I'm taking from you. There's nothing you're giving to me. I would do what you say if you give me a good enough reason for it, but there's no way for them to force me to do something. Whereas in a lot of situations when the woman or a girl has no financial power, she has nothing backing her. If her parents tell her, you need to get married to this 50-year-old man, even though you're only 20, she has to do what they say because that's how it works, right? And so if you want to fight back against the patriarchy, if you want to be powerful in every way, shape, or form, money is definitely going to be one of those things that'll help. And that's why I've written this book. I've linked it in the description below. I've spoken about it in the past, but I'm promoting it right now because I really want more and more and more women to get financial independent, or at least start thinking about it, or at least start moving towards it, because it is so freaking important. I can't even mention to you how important it is. Anyways, I think I've talked enough. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any stories to share about financial freedom or financial empowerment or financial knowledge, or the other side of the coin, if you've been downtrodden upon because of the patriarchy, because you're a woman, let me know. I'd love to hear all of your stories. Again, thank you so much for listening, for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.